What you thinking about?
Oh, nothing. Just our first shopping experience now that we're not using plastics.
So, as you may know, we're doing a full month of no plastic. That means no buying food in plastic packaging, no using disposable plastic stuff, no plastics for a full month. If you didn't see the first video, click here. You can go back and watch a recap of our idea, what we're planning on doing.
And a little bit about the challenge. What is zero plastic waste? Okay, so we just got back from shopping at our first grocery store.
We went to a food co-op in Tucson. Based on our experience before, usually co-ops seem like they're good for having food options without plastic. We're specifically thinking bulk foods. Co-ops usually have good bulk food options.
And we had heard good things about this one too. We were excited to check out the bulk aisle and see how we would do.
The first time going to a grocery store when you're trying to not buy plastic, when you're formerly used to buying things that come in plastic, is a little challenging and eye-opening. It's really amazing to me just how many of the things that we normally would buy come in a plastic wrapper.
Yeah, I mean, usually we'll buy yogurt, we buy chips, rice cakes, sometimes gluten-free breads,
Baking mixes, cheese.
We don't eat a ton of meat, but all of, like sausages or ground beef or things like that. And honestly, even at this co-op, the local beef, like all of the local grass-fed and very high-quality beef, is completely wrapped in plastic.
It was a little challenging to say the least, but we did manage to find quite a few non-plastic items. Produce is always a good place to go for items that aren't wrapped in plastic, although there are usually twisty ties and little plastic labels on fruits and vegetables. It's kind of hard to avoid that, so we're going to allow ourselves that little bit of leeway in the rules. Produce that has labels on it, I don't know, other than going to a farmer's market, you're not going to find produce without plastic labels, so you have to make this challenge realistic for yourself as well.
And it's not always going to be feasible to go to a farmer's market. We did look up, so in Tucson there are farmer's markets on the weekends, but it's not the weekend, so that's not feasible for us.
Driving extra miles and completely changing our lifestyles just to adhere to some strict set of rules for this isn't really what the challenge is about. It's more about bringing awareness to this issue and also trying to avoid plastic as much as we can. So we have to strike a balance.
I think overall we did really well. We were able to get enough stuff for probably about a week. Luckily we still have some of our meat and cheese left over from previous shopping experiences, so we're going to use that until it runs out and then figure out how to deal with that when we have to.
Exactly. Next week's going to be a little different because we'll have less of our pre-existing plastic packaged foods to draw off of. So the further into this challenge we get, the fewer packaged foods we're going to have,
the harder
it's going to be.
Maybe.
Exactly. We will have used up our foods in plastic packaging, and not being able to replace them is going to put some pressure on us to find new non-plastic wrapped items to feed ourselves with.
Yeah, but overall I think it went pretty well. I mean, it took us a little longer to figure out what to buy since we have our usual staple items, but in general.
Oh, and one thing that's really important when you go to the grocery store, if you're going to try and shop plastic-free, you need to bring your own containers for bulk foods. Some grocery stores will let you get cheese and meat and put it in your own container, so you have to come to the grocery store prepared with those things.